Hi and welcome to Orbit. Smartphones evolve every single year. The screen gets brighter, the processor faster and the camera sensor bigger. But sometimes there is a big giant leap. And this is the Honor Magic V2. It has a new battery technology that makes it the thinnest smartphone on the market. I used it for 1.5 months and here are my thoughts. Let's start with the best part, the design. Not so much how it looks, but how incredibly thin it is. A regular smartphone, the Galaxy S23 Ultra, it's 8.9mm thick. The Galaxy Fold 5 is 6.1mm. The Pixel Fold and the OnePlus Open are 5.8mm. And the Honor Magic V2 beats them all, it's just 4.7mm. Every single day I am impressed by how incredibly thin the smartphone is. It's surreal. How can a battery, processor, camera, vibration motor, multiple speakers and 2 displays fit into something that is only 4.7mm, about 2 euro coins. Even when closed, the Magic V2 is only 1mm thicker than the Galaxy S23 Ultra at 9.9mm with the same battery size and weighing even less. The whole secret lies in the new battery technology, which is significantly thinner than the previous ones. In addition, the folding mechanism is made out of titanium and therefore more durable and more compact. There are only 2 things that bother me about the design. I don't find the camera element particularly attractive. It's nothing special, it's kind of boring, and it's not waterproof. But I didn't know that at the beginning, and that's why I had it in extreme rain on my smartphone holder, on my scooter, and now it still works, but I won't probably do it again. Protective film is pre-installed on the display. I took it off at some point and the Nano Crystal Glass 2.0 hasn't really scratched so far. If that is just Huawei's Kunlun glass with another name, which I do expect, this is the strongest glass on the market. Honor also delivers on the displays. The outer one is a pleasant and rather normal 6.4 inch and with relatively thin symmetrical bezels all around. Even on the left side where the folding mechanism is and the Google Pixel has like a huge bar. Among other folding smartphones, it is noticeable that the Magic V2 is the largest and the aspect ratio is fairly standard at 20:9. That is an OLED display and it has 120Hz with LTPO and an extreme brightness of 2500 nits. All of this combined lead to the situation that I use the Magic V2 often closed and I almost forgot about the folding part. But only almost, because the inner display is so nice that I want to look at all the time. It is 7.9 inch in size, it has 120Hz of course, and the peak brightness is 1600 nits, so above average. The aspect ratio is almost square, like an IMAX movie screen, and luck has it, the display is also IMAX enhanced, so very color accurate. The bezels are pleasantly thin and symmetrical, not quite as thin as Samsung's, but definitely better than Google's. There was only one thing which I found to be a bit annoying, and that is when watching videos. The whole of the selfie camera is always inside of the picture. The OnePlus Open has a much more clever design. And I almost forgot to mention the crease in the display, because even after folding it hundreds of times, it never got really visible. Only when hard light shines on the display from the right angle you can see it, but you can hardly feel it. It's quite remarkable that this is not only one of the most compact folding mechanisms, but also one with one of the smallest creases. But the best thing is that both displays are good. It's not like I prefer one above the other, like with the Pixel Fold or the Samsung Fold. Also, the stereo sound is so good that I was asked several times by people what phone I'm using. Hardware is one thing and Honor did completely nail it, but software is another thing, and here I'm not too sure. Maybe there are some people that just unbox this thing and do like the software and don't even think about it. In the end, this is the interface that Huawei used and many people like that. The whole thing is strongly inspired by iOS. The quick settings at the top here, or the share menu, and even the shape of the icons. Well, I personally don't like it. At least I could customize the app icon design a little bit, and I think it's great that when you open an app on the outside and then open the phone up, it immediately opens the app on a large screen without any loading time. Instagram even has a special version for this large display. And my keyboard splits in half so I can type easier. In Chrome everything feels like a tablet with the tabs at the top. I did like that. The performance and the animations were no way inferior to high-end smartphones, but that's no wonder. It is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 with 16GB of RAM and 512GB of UFS 4.0 memory. Well, there was the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 release already, but I do think that the performance difference is not that big, so it's not that bad. But the software on the other hand, well, I have some feelings about that. After 1.5 months, I know all the good and the bad sides of the software, and I have the following conclusion. It's good and it works, but all other folding phones have better software, which automatically makes Honor the worst. Samsung, Google and OnePlus, they do have an app dock at the bottom and it makes multitasking very easy. Honor's app menu is on the side and very slow. Samsung and Motorola have a Windows-like interface at external monitors. Honor has nothing. In addition, all of the others give longer software updates. Honor promises 4 years of Android and 5 years of security updates. That's okay, but for the price and the performance, there has to be more. And I hate it when I click on a message, it always opens as a mini app and I can't do anything about it. It's so annoying. Why exactly did Honor think that it is a good idea to deactivate the double tap on the power button that starts the camera on every other Android phone? It's such a great feature and they just killed it. Why? And then there is sometimes no background actualization of an app, so I missed my BeReal many times. Okay, I have to think about something positive. Let's talk about the battery life, because it is quite impressive. It is a new battery technology that makes this phone so thin. In fact, it's 5000 mAh, so significantly larger than other folding phones. The reason is the new silicon carbon cell chemistry. It can charge from 0 to 100% in just 55 minutes with 66 watts, which is faster than 99% of the folding phones out there. The battery life is very good. About 6 hours of display use on average. It depends on how much you use the inner or the outer display. It was also possible to get more than that if you're only in Wi-Fi and dark mode. The Magic V2 was never empty before the end of the day. There's only one drawback, and that's the lack of wireless charging. I think they wanted to make the thing as thin as possible, so they left it out. Because folding smartphones are generally thinner than regular smartphones and contain more technology, the camera space is limited and therefore the image quality is 1 to 2 years behind. But there are 3 cameras inside of the Magic V2, and that is nothing short of a miracle. There's a 50 megapixel ultra wide with autofocus, a 50 megapixel main camera and a 2.5 times optical zoom with 20 megapixel. Sounds very promising and I was able to take some nice pictures, but somehow I didn't quite warm up with the look until the end. The photos are a little bit too pale and the sharpness just does not look real. It looks sometimes like it was built by an AI. 2.5 times tele is quite nice, but 5 times or 10 times looks quite poor. The main camera definitely is the best out of the bunch. The selfie camera is only average, both indoors and outdoors. I therefore took the extra step of taking pictures with the main camera if it was important to me. The results then are much better. Videos are also only average. An iPhone, Pixel or Galaxy looks much better. Of all the things, the camera is the thing I like the least about the Magic V2 because the photos looked a little bit boring. It's actually strange because the hardware is pretty decent, so it has to be a software problem. Time for my conclusion. I think there are 5 things that foldable phones are lacking from regular smartphones. First, weight and thickness, and Honor completely nailed that category. That is a small revolution. Then there is the battery life. Usually it's shorter, but here it's actually better. So that is a huge revolution in its own way. Then there is the camera. Well, the hardware is good, but I do think that the software could need some more work. So that's kind of a miss. And then there is the software, and that's the biggest miss because it's just not using the whole screen real estate, and I feel like that is a missed opportunity on a huge scale. Super sad to see. And then there is the price. Here in Europe it's 2,000 euros. That is the most expensive smartphone I've ever used, and I don't think that many people will be able to afford it. I think if they chose a price like 1,600 euros, it would be a hit. But so, yeah, I'm left with a feeling of, well, I do want a thin folding phone, but I don't want to use this one. And that's why I got a OnePlus Open, because it has a better camera and a better software. It is a little bit thicker though, but I do love it. And I hope this video was great and helpful. and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.